Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're a coin collector, treasure hunter, or simply fascinated by rare and valuable coins that can turn pocket change into a payday, you're going to want to stick around because today, we're diving deep, really deep, into the incredibly rare and highly sought-after 1989 D Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny that under normal circumstances is just a common part of American currency. But due to extraordinary minting errors and anomalies, some examples of this coin have fetched thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars at auctions and in private sales. That's right. Imagine having what looks like just a regular old penny in your drawer or change jar, but it's actually worth more than a used car or even a down payment on a house. But what exactly makes this 1989 D penny so incredibly valuable? What specific errors and mistakes are collectors and experts looking for? Let's get into all the fascinating details and explore the possibilities that elevate this tiny coin to such jaw-dropping value. First, it's important to understand that the 1989 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, was never intended to be anything more than a regular circulation coin, part of the billions of Lincoln cents minted over the years. But due to certain rare and unexpected errors, whether caused by human mistake, mechanical malfunction, or transitional design quirks, some examples of the 1989 D penny exhibit characteristics that set them apart from the crowd. Among the most notable and valuable errors is the use of a mismatched die pair, where the obverse, front, and reverse, back, dies may not have aligned properly or came from different intended coin types. For instance, there have been documented cases of 1989 D pennies struck using dies meant for earlier or later designs, leading to anomalies in lettering, spacing, and portrait details. One highly publicized error involves a coin that appears to have the reverse design elements of a 1988 penny but with a 1989 obverse, pointing to a transitional design mismatch that occurred as the U.S. Mint updated its master dies. Furthermore, the 1989 D penny is notorious among enthusiasts for rare occurrences of double die errors, where elements like the word Liberty, the date, or the motto, In God We Trust, appear to be stamped twice slightly out of alignment, creating a shadow-like effect that can be very subtle or quite pronounced. These double die coins are extremely rare, and their value skyrockets based on how visible and strong the doubling is. Minor doubling might attract a few $100s, but major, unmistakable doubled features can boost the price well into the thousands. In addition to doubled dies, there's also the matter of repunched mint marks, or RPMs, where the D mint mark for Denver was punched more than once, leading to overlapping or partially displaced impressions. Again, visibility and clarity matter here. Clear RPMs are highly prized and can significantly increase the coin's value. Another layer of rarity involves off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin that is partially blank or severely misaligned. These off-center errors can be spectacular, especially when the date and mint mark are still visible on the coin, as that allows collectors to verify its origin and rarity. Some extreme off-center 1989 D pennies with 50% or more of the design missing but with legible identifiers have been known to sell for thousands of dollars. Then there are the even rarer broad strike errors, where the retaining collar that shapes the edge of the coin fails during the strike, causing the coin to spread outward and lose its typical rim. A broad-struck 1989 D penny with a clean surface and no post-mint damage can be an especially appealing addition to a collection, driving up demand and value. Let's not forget die cracks and cuds, both of which are caused by worn or broken dies. Die cracks appear as raised lines on the surface of the coin, often running across Lincoln's face, head, or along the edges. Cuds are larger chunks of missing design where a piece of the die has broken off completely, causing the metal to fill the void and create a raised, blank blob on the coin's surface. Dramatic die cracks and large, clear cuds on the 1989 D penny are relatively rare and can attract serious collector interest. Yet another oddity that could significantly boost the value of a 1989 D penny is the use of a wrong planchet, the metal disc that becomes the coin. While most 1989 D pennies were supposed to be struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet weighing 2.5 grams, some rare examples have surfaced that were struck on leftover bronze planchets from 1982 or on foreign coin blanks, resulting in weight differences, color variations, and other peculiarities. These wrong planchet errors are not only fascinating to examine but incredibly valuable due to their scarcity and the clear historical anomaly they represent. One such coin reportedly struck on a brass planchet intended for another country sold for over $10,000 at auction due to its confirmed origin and unique appearance. Collectors are always on the hunt for these kinds of anomalies, and authenticated examples with proper certification and grading can become the crown jewel of a collection. It's not just about spotting a mistake, though, it's about understanding the story that mistake tells and the context in which it occurred. For the 1989 D penny, this was a time when the U.S. Mint was dealing with numerous changes in materials, design updates, and increasing production volume, which made quality control both more important and more difficult. These circumstances created the perfect storm for mint errors to slip through the cracks, sometimes literally, and end up in circulation. Over the years, coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified a handful of 1989 D pennies with major errors, often assigning high grades to those preserved in excellent condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when paired with a rare error. A mint state 1989 D penny with a strong double die obverse and an RPM, for instance, could fetch exponentially more than one with just surface wear or weak error visibility. As with any rare collectible, provenance and documentation matter, and coins that come with verified grading and authentication tend to command higher prices and faster sales. But what does this mean for the average person? Could you find a 1989 D penny worth thousands in your pocket change or coin jar? The answer is absolutely yes, but it requires sharp eyes, a good magnifying tool, and some research. Many of these rare errors are subtle and can be easily overlooked, especially by those unfamiliar with what to look for. Knowing the weight of the coin, inspecting under magnification for doubled elements, mint mark anomalies, strike misalignments, and unusual coloration or texture can all be clues that you're holding on to something special. There are even online communities and marketplaces where you can post high-quality photos of your coins to get feedback from seasoned collectors. But always be cautious and use reputable grading services if you think you have a truly valuable find. So, the next time you're sifting through loose change, don't ignore that dull old penny from 1989 with a tiny D under the date. It could be a hidden gem. While most are worth exactly 1 cent, the few that carry those rare and fascinating mistakes are prized not just for their value but for what they represent: a unique moment in minting history. A slip-up that turned into a jackpot for the lucky few who recognized it. From mismatched dies to dramatic off-center strikes, doubled dies to rare planchet compositions, the 1989 D Lincoln cent proves that sometimes the most mundane objects can harbor secrets worth thousands of dollars. Thanks for sticking around, and if you found this deep dive interesting, informative, or just plain cool, don't forget to check your change, subscribe for more coin hunting insights, and stay tuned for even more stories of how small metal discs can hold massive value. And now, let's move on to another jaw-dropping coin that has left collectors and numismatists buzzing with excitement: the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a small piece of copper that under normal circumstances is worth exactly 1 cent, but under the right conditions, with the right combination of rare minting mistakes, can skyrocket in value and command staggering sums of up to $12,000 or more on the collector's market. That's right, what seems like just another ordinary penny minted at the tail end of the 1970s could actually be a numismatic treasure hiding in plain sight. And today we're going to unravel all the fascinating details that make certain 1978 pennies not just special but extraordinarily valuable. First, let's set the stage. The 1978 penny was struck during a transitional period in U.S. mint history, just a few years before the change in composition from the traditional copper alloy to copper-plated zinc in 1982. All 1978 Lincoln cents were supposed to be made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing approximately 3.11 grams, with mint marks from either Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, as for proof coins only, and featuring the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But even in this seemingly standard run of coins, a handful of exceptional errors and anomalies slip through the cracks, errors that today make those specific 1978 pennies worth thousands. One of the most coveted and high-value errors associated with the 1978 penny involves a dramatic and rare doubled die obverse. In these cases, parts of the design, typically the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date itself, appear to be doubled due to a misalignment between the die and the hub used during the minting process. This doubling isn't due to mechanical doubling or post-mint damage, but a genuine double die variety, and it can cause the affected features to appear shadowed, thickened, or even completely replicated alongside the original impression. Collectors go crazy for these true doubled dies, and examples with strong, clear doubling, especially in mint state condition, are exceedingly rare and incredibly valuable. Another highly sought-after error from the 1978 penny is the misplaced mint mark or repunched mint mark, known as RPMs, particularly on the Denver minted coins. The D mint mark was applied manually to the working die before the coin blank was struck, and in some cases, the mint mark was punched more than once in slightly different positions, leading to visible overlap or separation. These RPMs can be subtle or dramatic, and high-grade examples with clear repunching can elevate the value of the coin significantly, especially if paired with other errors. Off-center strikes are another spectacular and valuable anomaly associated with the 1978 Lincoln cent. When the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly seated within the striking chamber, it can result in a coin that is only partially struck, with a visible blank crescent on one side and an incomplete design. The most valuable of these errors retain full visibility of the date and mint mark while exhibiting a 10% to 80% off-center strike. These are not only impressive to look at but are considered rare enough to drive up prices considerably, sometimes even into the thousands depending on condition and degree of off-centering. Additionally, broad strike errors, where the retaining collar fails and allows the metal to spread beyond its normal limits during the strike, result in a wider, flatter coin with an incomplete or missing rim. These errors are relatively rare for the 1978 issue and can become highly desirable when found in uncirculated condition. Yet another anomaly that can boost the 1978 penny's value into the thousands is a wrong planchet error, where the coin was struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. Examples exist of 1978 Lincoln cents being struck on dime planchets, weighing 2.27 grams, resulting in a smaller, thinner coin with partial design cut off. Other known wrong planchet errors include coins struck on foreign bronze or copper nickel planchets, creating noticeable weight differences, different metallic tones, and sometimes visible edge anomalies. These coins are exceptionally rare and always demand expert verification, but authenticated examples have been known to sell for $5,000 to $12,000 or more, depending on condition and uniqueness. Cut errors, caused by a piece of the die breaking off and allowing the metal to flow into the void, also occur on 1978 pennies and can create a striking raised blob on the surface of the coin, often along the rim, or obliterating part of the design. These cut errors are particularly interesting when large and clear, and when combined with other unusual features, their collectible value skyrockets. Then we have die cracks and die chips, which appear as raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface caused by worn or damaged dies. While these are typically less valuable than other types of errors, they can add value when prominent or unusual, especially when found on an already rare error coin or in exceptional condition. Some 1978 pennies have also been found with strike-through errors, where foreign material like grease or a piece of wire was trapped between the die and planchet during the strike, resulting in distorted or missing portions of the design. These coins are unique, sometimes one of a kind, and particularly intriguing to error specialists. What makes the 1978 penny truly captivating to collectors, though, is the combination of potential error types, the historical context of late 70s minting practices, and the relatively high quality of coins struck during this era, which means that many of these rare errors survive in high grades if properly preserved. Coins graded MS65 and higher by trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC can fetch eye-popping prices at auction, especially if they feature one or more of the rare errors we've discussed. For example, a 1978 D Lincoln cent with a bold double die obverse and sharp repunched mint mark, graded MS66 red, could easily sell in the $8,000 to $12,000 range, especially with provenance from a reputable collection or certification from a major auction house. But what does this all mean for the casual collector or the average person with a coin jar sitting at home? It means opportunity. It means that with a little attention to detail and some basic knowledge of what to look for, you could stumble upon one of these incredible errors hiding in your change, on your desk, or in a long-forgotten coin roll. Tools like digital scales, magnifying glasses, and comparison guides are all you need to start identifying these rare treasures. Keep an eye out for coins that look unusual: odd spacing in letters, thickened numbers, extra bumps or blobs near the mint mark, or overall off-centeredness, and always weigh suspicious pennies to check for planchet errors. And remember, condition matters. Even the rarest error won't command top dollar if it's scratched, heavily worn, or damaged, so storing coins properly and handling them carefully is key. Verified examples of 1978 pennies with dramatic errors continue to show up at auctions and private sales, often with bidding wars driving prices far beyond initial estimates. There are even dedicated communities of collectors online who focus specifically on Lincoln cents and who are eager to share knowledge, appraise potential finds, and help newcomers navigate the world of error coins. So if you happen upon a 1978 penny that just doesn't look quite right, don't toss it back in the drawer. Take a closer look, do a little research, and you might just discover that you're holding onto a coin worth far more than its face value. In fact, you could be looking at a small copper coin worth up to $12,000 or more, thanks to a rare and fascinating minting mistake that turned it from everyday currency into a collectible masterpiece. Keep watching, stay curious, and don't underestimate the value of that humble penny. It could change your life.